am planning on installing a 24,000 gallon pool. My equipment by necessity will be about 140 feet away from the pool. I plan to purchase an intelliflo XF variable speed pump. What size plumbing should be used? 2 inch, 2.5, or 3 inch, and why? Also, do you agree with my pump choice?
It's a great question, and I think it's well thought out. First off, we're looking at, you said 140 feet. It depends in terms of pump and plumbing on what's going on. If we're talking simply a pool with standard returns, what I would recommend, and that's what I'm assuming because I didn't hear anything else, there's no features, no waterfalls and that type of thing. I would always err on the side of oversizing the plumbing versus undersizing the plumbing. And you have two things to concern yourself with. You have the suction. That plumbing needs to be much larger because you have a certain flow rate and a distance. You're going to lose over a long distance. You're going to lose there's going to be a lot of resistance in the pipe, and on the return side as well. But my recommendation, without running all of the numbers and doing all of that, I would put 3-inch plumbing on the suction side. That would be the main drain. Yeah, you could probably get away with 2.5-inch suction on the skimmer, and return line would be 2.5. So if you go any less than that on a skimmer at that distance, you're not going to have the flow through the skimmer that you want. The challenge with it, and here's the balance, is that if the main drain plumbing is too large, it's always going to override the skimmer plumbing, which again, over that distance is a lot. What I would probably do though is I would still run 3-inch for the main drain, 2.5-inch for the skimmer, and then I would, during normal use, I would probably throttle down the main drain slightly so that the valve isn't completely open, so that it forces a little bit of additional draw out of the skimmer. The only other option would be to plumb them together and then feed them back to the equipment pad. That would be another option. It doesn't give you as much flexibility in terms of being able to increase flow from one versus the other, but the only two ways that I see to do it is to, make sure that the plumbing is certainly large enough. As to the pump, I think the pump will be more than adequate. An XF, I use those a lot, and I think with that scenario, it's probably pretty decent. I didn't hear anything in the question about elevation change. That may come into play. If there's a big elevation change, you might want to think about that differently. But if it's a fairly level run, I think you should be fine.